I stood on the cracked sidewalk outside the Sunset Row office park, heels sinking into warm asphalt, rehearsing the line I had practiced in the Uber. The August sun bounced off the mirrored glass behind me, and I thought, this will be quick, just get the session over with, then meet Tamika for drinks. Inside the waiting room, the air conditioning hit my neck like a slap. Mark sat on the bench, elbows on knees, tracing the grain of the wood with his thumb. He wore the navy blazer I bought him last Christmas, the one that still smelled faintly of cedar from his closet. I dropped beside him, crossed my legs, and flicked at a loose thread on my skirt. Dr. Leland opened the door and waved us in. The therapy room smelled of eucalyptus and dust. 2 chairs faced each other across a low table with a single box of tissues. I took the left seat, Mark the right. Dr. Leland settled onto the stool between us, tablet balanced on her lap. She asked how we had been since last week. I shrugged. Mark cleared his throat. I feel like we are roommates who happen to share a last name, he said. Dr. Leland tilted her head. Lena, how do you see it? I glanced at Mark, then at the ceiling. I mean, stability was the whole point, right? I married him because he had a job with health insurance and a 401k. I never pretended it was some grand romance. The words left my mouth before I could stop them, smooth and practiced, like a line from a play I had rehearsed for years. I expected Dr. Leland to nod, maybe jot something down. Instead, the room went still. Mark's jaw flexed. A vein throbbed at his temple. He looked at me, eyes glassy, voice low. You said that out loud to our therapist. After 6 years. I rolled my eyes. Come on, Mark, everyone optimizes. You wanted a pretty wife who could talk to your boss at Christmas parties. I wanted someone who paid the mortgage on time. We both got what we wanted. Mark stood so fast the chair scraped backward. No, Lena, I wanted a partner, not a transaction. Dr. Leland lifted a hand, but Mark was already at the door. He paused, looked back at me like I was a stranger, then left. The door slammed hard enough to rattle the tissue box. I laughed once, short and sharp. He will cool off, I said to Dr. Leland. He always does. She did not smile. Lena, that was cruel. I left the office 10 minutes later, squinting into the glare. Mark had taken the car. I called an Uber and scrolled Instagram while I waited. I posted a selfie with the caption Therapy Day, lol, and watched the likes pile up. That evening I walked into the loft on Alameda Street. Mark had changed the code on the keypad. I typed 8/29, my birthday, then 12/25, our anniversary. Red light blinked. I kicked the door, cursed, then called him. Straight to voicemail. I spent the night at Tamika's apartment, drank her craft gin, and complained about men who could not handle honesty. She listened, eyes sympathetic, but did not offer her couch a second night. Next morning I drove to the loft, used the spare key hidden under the broken planter. Inside smelled of coffee and absence. Mark sat at the dining table, laptop open, a spreadsheet glowing. He did not look up. Good morning to you too, I said. He clicked a cell, typed a number. I moved my things into the guest room. I canceled the joint account this morning. Your cards are frozen. I laughed. You are joking. He turned the laptop toward me. Bank of Horizon account summary closed. My credit cards listed below, each marked suspended. I felt heat rise in my throat. You cannot do that. I have brunch with the girls. He closed the laptop, stood. Then call one of them for a loan. I stepped closer, tried to touch his arm. He moved away like I was hot iron. Mark, stop. I apologized. I will text sorry right now. Not enough, he said. His voice was steady, almost gentle, which scared me more than shouting. I am done proving I am worth more than a dental plan. I slept on Tamika's couch 3 more nights. Each morning I checked the mail for new cards. Nothing came. I called the bank, got transferred, got hung up on. I texted Mark selfies, jokes, memories from our honeymoon in Mendocino. He read none of them. Friday I met our mutual friend Devin for iced coffee at the pier. Seagulls screamed overhead. I stirred sugar into my drink, watched it swirl. He told us what you said, Devin said. We are not inviting you to game night next week. I blinked. It was a private session. Mark needed support. We gave it. Devin stood, left his cup half full. I walked the pier until the sun set, wind cold against my arms. I thought, this is temporary, he will miss me, they all will. 2 weeks later I stood outside the loft again. Mark opened the door before I knocked. He wore a gray t-shirt I had never seen, hair shorter. Behind him the living room looked different. My throw pillows gone, the ugly painting we bought in Santa Fe replaced by a framed map. I am moving out, he said. Lease starts next week. A studio near the river. I felt the floor tilt. But this is our place. It was. Now it is just square footage. He handed me a folder. Divorce papers already initialed by him. I will pay for mediation. No lawyers needed if you sign. I flipped through the pages, numbers swimming. You planned this. He met my eyes. I started planning the morning you told a stranger I was a line item. I tried to speak, but the words caught on something sharp in my throat. He stepped back inside. Goodbye, Lena. The door shut. The click echoed like a starter pistol. I signed the papers in the food court of the Galleria, sitting beside a fake ficus and a crying toddler. I mailed them before I could change my mind. The notary did not ask questions. Months passed. I found a sublet with 2 roommates who left dishes in the sink and played video games until 3 a.m. I sold the designer bags on resale apps, paid late fees, learned how to stretch $20 into a week of groceries. One night I walked past the river path at dusk. Mark sat on a bench near the footbridge, legs crossed, talking to a woman with curly hair and paint on her jeans. She laughed at something he said, and he smiled the way he used to smile at me, only softer, like the smile had been given room to grow. I stopped behind a tree, heart hammering. I wanted to call his name, but the word felt heavy, foreign. They stood, walked toward the bridge, his hand brushing hers. I watched until they disappeared around the bend. I sat on the grass, shoes off, city lights flickering on the water. I thought about the day he proposed on that same bridge, how I had checked my phone for work emails while he knelt. I thought about health insurance, mortgage rates, the 1,000 small kindnesses I never noticed because I assumed they would always be there. The grass was damp. I wrapped my arms around my knees. For the first time in years, nothing felt certain, and the uncertainty tasted like iron and salt and something that might have been regret.